I'd like to share with you the thought about under his shadow. I believe this is one of those sweet thoughts. I do a lot of these radio programs about relationships with each other because I I think I have to work on relationships more than anything that I do in my life. I have to work on relationships. I have to help our family to get along. I have to make sure that I'm nice when we go into these churches and visit them. But today I'd like to talk to you about under his shadow. Psalm 17:8 says, "Keep me as the apple of the eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings." Yeah, think about that. Hide me under this. David saying, put me under there to protect me. Put me under there to comfort me during this time. Isaiah 51:16 says, "I have put my words in thy mouth, and I have covered thee in the shadow of my hand, that I may plant the heavens and lay the foundations of the earth, and say unto Zion, Thou art my people." So he says here, Isaiah said here, that God covered thee in the shadow of mine hand. You know, that tells you how big God's hand is, number one. And it tells you that God can comfort you in the shadow. He can protect you. And I don't know, if sometimes I think I'm getting myself ready to go through a big trial. I call them seasons of trials because there are times in my life when I just have a number of things that go wrong, and I just have to just keep on going, and I have to keep trusting, and I have to just say, okay, God, take care of me. But I felt very led that I needed to understand the comfort of the shadows. And we're in a town in Memphis. We're in Memphis, Tennessee, and my motorhome is in such direct sunlight that it's so hot. You know, and I was thinking if we had shade over it, how much that would deflect some of the heat. You know, and can some of you remember when you used to make bunnies with with uh, with your reflection and with the shadows of your hand? And the other day I came home and Champ, I looked in his stall and it was 100 degrees in there when I got home from an errand, and I said, "Oh, this is too hot for him." So Kevin was gone, and so I just took it upon myself, and I went out and took him out, and I found this wonderful shade tree where he could lay under the shadow of that big tree and find comfort from that direct sunlight. And so there's a lot about shadows. There's a lot about shade that comforts you and protects you from direct sunlight. So when I open up my awnings on my motorhome, then I have lots of shade. And so if I have to work out in the outside, I'll put those awnings out and I'll have shade so that I can be protected from there. And ladies, I'm just trying to say to you today, if you are going through a trial, or if you're not going through a trial, but a trial might be on its way, just stay under his shadow. You know, stay under his wings, because there's comfort there. He wants to be there for you. He wants to protect you. And tell you what I'm going to do the next time I get into a big trial or a small trial or just any kind of trial. I'm going to look up Psalm 17:8, and I'm going to look up Isaiah 51:16, and I'm just going to sit there and let God comfort me in his shadow. And I hope you will do the same thing. Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice.